What's going on, Rundown Nation? Welcome to episode 62. Appreciate you for being here as always. I am your host, Christopher Cousins, director of podcasting here in the PFA. And with me as always is the puppet master himself, Mr. Brian Mitchum, director of media. We are powered by the PFA, and we're also powered by Trinity Trifecta. Those are our sponsors, and there's all the sponsors we need. Hope everyone's having a great night. Had a great week. I was glad to be back. I had a little hiatus there. Busy month for me, the month of May. I celebrated a birthday, 42 years young, and my daughter graduated high school last Thursday. That's why I was able to be here as well. Congratulations to her. But great to be back. Lots to talk about in my absence. Lots to talk about this week, Brian. Week 6 is upon us, man. How does it go?
That's right, Chris. Week 6. We're heading into it, PFA season, and things are really shaping up in the 2A. And, of course, we all know how the 3A is going, but we will get into that more later in the show. But, Chris, I didn't see you last week, and welcome back, by the way. I have to ask, how was Monday Night Raw, man?
Listen, Monday Night Raw was terrific. Shout out to my girlfriend, Tanya, man. She hooked me up for tickets. We went for my birthday. It was Monday Night Raw. It was Memorial Day. Big signing between the Tribal Chief and Jacob Fatu.
And did you acknowledge that?
I acknowledged him. I definitely acknowledged.
What?
Also, Oba Femi was there. Got to do my strut.
That dude is massive. That dude is
Seth Rollins was there. Seth Rollins even had a match against Montez Ford, which was great. That was a great match. So it was just nice that I actually went. This was my first time actually going, and the superstars were there to actually perform. So I was happy about that. Can't wait to go, with the fellas. She was there, but she's not really into, but I'm just happy she was able to be with me and celebrate.
Hey, that's what it's all about, spending time with family, man. My wife's
next time going to a PPV. That's my next thing. Want to go to a PPV, want to go to maybe a SummerSlam or maybe WrestleMania. But definitely had a blast being at Raw.
My wife's not a super fan, but she does like some certain certain ones. So she would go with me because she was going to buy me tickets to the Saturday Night Main Event in Fort Wayne, and those things were expensive for nosebleed seats, like 600 section, which you get dizzy up there, man. Because so
we got lucky because it was in the Schottenstein Center, which is the old Buckeyes basketball arena. So it's a lot smaller than Nationwide.
Yeah.
So even if you're up up top, it's really not that, it's really not that far. So the seats we had were really, really good. She actually did like Oba Femi. She liked the strut.
My wife likes him too.
She liked the chant that we did when he
came out. I know. Yeah. So, and I don't know how massive he looks up close like that, but
he's a big guy, man.
I saw Brock Lesnar back in the day, and he was massive. Now he's lost a little bit of muscles. It seems like at his old age.
I'm trying to think about now that you just said that. Now that I've seen him, I'm trying to figure out how big is I can't think of his name. The one tall Nigerian. He was there for a little while. He was the enforcer for Seth for a little bit.
I don't remember him.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He was like 7'1".
Oh man, did you see Braun Breaker? Did he come out?
Braun did not come out.
Heyman came out, didn't he?
That was listen. And again, it takes me back again to childhood and then things like that because I got to literally you sit in front of the TV and you say all these things to the screen and you remember all the quotes and all the things. So to finally get to be able to say I was one of the people that you heard on Monday Night Raw say, and I am Paul.
Heyman. Yeah.
It was definitely a great. I was excited for that. I was excited to go through his whole spiel with him, and then it was just good times, man, to be able to acknowledge the tribal chief and It was cool because what you didn't see when the cameras did cut, I'll let you in on that. The tribal chief stayed a little bit later on after in the ring. He acknowledged Columbia,
Ohio.
said some nice things to us about the city. It was also about to be his birthday. So he's had a few nice words to say. He said probably about a good 15.
They like to do that after Netflix cuts it off.
After they stopped taping, he stayed about an extra 15 minutes, 20 minutes in the ring, said some things, took some extra pictures, signed some autographs. I thought that was really dope too.
Now, did you get cursed by Danhausen by chance?
Hauser was not there, so I didn't have to worry about getting cursed at all. I'm happy that he wasn't there because I was a little worried about getting cursed. But no, Danhausen was not there at all.
Dang it. Because he uncursed the Knicks, and now the Knicks are in the NBA Finals, dude.
Listen, I knew the Knicks were going to make it. I knew the Spurs were going to make it. Now
I don't follow basketball because I can't stand it.
If the Spurs win, my prediction, what I said was going. I picked the Spurs to win when the playoffs started. Even though I'm a Laker fan, I knew we didn't really have a shot in hell. But
Mike Cash, I totally agree with you, buddy. I know.
What is Mike talking about?
He's talking about our buddy. You know who he's talking about.
Man. I will choose to refrain from any words. Yep. Spurs and 4 Cash. I got Spurs in 5. I'm gonna give him 5. I'm gonna give him a gentleman's sweep.
But I'm glad you had a nice month off, Chris.
Yeah, I did.
You had your birthday, got to spend some time with your family. I get to have surgery on Monday again to put the screw back in my ankle that's sticking out about that far from where it should be.
How did it come out, Brian?
Well, what happened was
gotta like this.
My kid and wife. My wife went to work one morning, and my kid takes her to work sometimes because she has appointments for the baby and all that. They left the gate open, and I let the beagle out. Rest in peace, Chester. I'll get into that in a little bit.
Chester. We'll get into that.
And he's a beagle, and he took the fuck off out the gate. So I had to put some pressure on my foot, and I slipped when I did it. So I think I might, but I haven't been compliant. I haven't been listening to my wife as much as I should. Being no weight bearing, I've been walking on my foot, so it could have tweaked it out. But I'm going to ask the surgeon if he put some fucking Loctite on that motherfucker, dude. Like, put some Loctite on it. I'll bring it to you.
Man, you gotta listen to.
So now they're going to put even bigger and longer screws in there to hold my ligaments. So then, my guess is I'll have to have a forced surgery to get those screws out. So I'm just not having a great time.
You must like surgery because I would have been. I don't like surgery.
I don't either, but you know what? I'm getting to know the anesthesiologist. We're like me and her are like on a
probably exchanged numbers the last time.
She's the one that stabs me in the back of the leg to give me that nerve block, man. So I got to be nice to her.
Jesus, peace.
Yeah, Monday is my surgery, so we'll see how it goes. I'll find out for sure if he's going to replace one screw or both screws.
Well, yeah, but back to the beagle, man. I do send my condolences to you and the family, man. That's a tough loss anytime you lose a fur baby, especially one that's been around the family for a long time.
He was an asshole. We hated each other, but we had a love-hate relationship. He started having a seizure Sunday night, man, and he wouldn't come out of it. He had one last year when we first got to Michigan, and he came out of it and kind of just shook it off. And this time he hides underneath the bed. He hid underneath the bed all the time. That's another story. We'll have to tell read stories of Chester back in the, every once in a while. But he come out from underneath the bed and just started looking like he was drunk. So, and then he started having a seizure.
Play the upper room music for the upper room chime for Chester, man. R.I.P. Chester, man.
The harp. I got to find it. Hang on.
R.I.P. Chester, man. We're gone but never forgotten.
That's right. He's on the Rainbow Bridge. He crossed over and he's out running, eating everything he wants in the yard.
In the yard for the Lord.
In the yard, and that was my wife's baby, so she's still pretty distraught about it.
Hey, Mike, you're trolling. Mike talking about they're gonna lose to the Bills this weekend.
All right, Mike.
I'm not doing this with you tonight. I'm just not.
Hey, we're getting in and we're getting out, man.
I'm not doing this with you tonight, Mike. I don't have the energy. I don't. But as always, the rundown is live on Facebook and YouTube. Please make sure you go like and subscribe to both. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat. And as always, like my man Smooth used to say, represent yourself, represent your team. Put your team name and your uniform number. We give you a shout out. Let us know who you are. But as always, Brian, we're going to hit these recaps. We're going to hit the games coming up this week. But first and foremost, we always got to pay these bills. So right after this, we'll be back as soon as we hit some commercials. All right.
And welcome back to the rundown. My cords are getting stuck on my Lego crane. Sorry. Yes, I said Legos. You have no idea how addicted to Legos I am. But we're not going to get into that rabbit hole because it's not good. It's not pretty at all.
Rabbit hole is
but welcome back to the rundown. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you share the stream for us. We much appreciate it. Chris, we had some games this past weekend, so let's jump right into it. We'll just get this ugly game out of the way. I don't even want to talk about this game, man, because
it's unfortunate.
I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed by it.
I'm embarrassed, but it is unfortunate that it's still in 2026. We are still trying to pull away from the stigma of what is and what was semi-pro football, and unfortunately, some things, unbeknownst to the Surge, happened, prior to this game that they didn't know, took place, and they end up having to, be the penalty end up befalling on them. So we got everything situated. They talked to the people in charge and got everything situated so that won't be happening in the future. But it's just unfortunate. It's definitely unfortunate. Game just was getting kicked off. Game was just about to start. I think the Island Boys had just maybe ran one play. So
and the Surge were moving around good, man, and so the Surge.
You hate to see that happen, and you hate to take a loss like that. But again, that's why we tell guys, we tell franchises, we tell players, that what we are trying to build for this culture, what we are trying to promote, is just to try to get away from that stigma. That stigma of what semi-pro was, and in some areas of the country still is. This is not that. We don't want to be a part of that. Don't want to be associated with a part of that. So we try to carry ourselves and conduct ourselves in a certain way, a certain manner. But sometimes, we still can't get things done. We still can't get things done on this end because of that. So, things happen, and we try to move on and keep it pushing. But yeah, Rondo was not the happiest of
And
camp.
I don't blame him. Rondo works hard for this team, man, and he tries his damnedest to make sure stuff runs well. So, shout out to him for getting it fixed, and hopefully this week or the next home game, mid skip. All right, anyways, on to the next game. Shout out to the Fury, man. Shout out to Charles over there in Flint. They got their first win over the Ohio Bears from the Tri-Point League, 24-12, man. And see if they can make that push and grab that sixth spot from the Force, man, because they're we'll talk about that a little bit later when we look at the standings. But, man, there's a 19-point differential right there from that sixth spot. Fury can make that push, man. They might grab that sixth spot, but congratulations to them. Like I said, I didn't really get to watch much of the games on Saturday. So, Chris, you might know more about this game than I do. So,
man, it started out being a good game. Both teams looking to – the Bears had already been in the win column. Shout out to the Bears. I know some players and also some coaching personnel over there. But Flint came out, did what was needed to do in the first half to make this, make this a game, and was able to do what was needed in the fourth quarter to solidify this win. The Bears definitely kept coming. Good players and coaching staff, like I said, over there, and showed a lot of heart during this game. And Flint just was able to, find a way to win. Basically, took care of the opportunities that they have. Didn't turn over the ball that much. Did good clock management by the coaches and things of that nature. But just happy for them to be able to finally get into that win column. Like you said, they are battling for that sixth spot to get into the playoffs. So score more was definitely needed. So happy that they were able to put up 24 points in this game. And I'm always happy when you're able to, we can lose to each other, but we don't want to lose to anybody outside. So glad that we were able to win this crossover matchup against the Bears, against their league. And so I'm glad that I'm glad they got to celebrate this weekend instead of mourning a loss.
This game came down to the battle of first and second place, and man, from the looks how these two teams are playing, I know Glass City is going to be one of the teams in the championship. They're 4-1 right now. You got Chauncey Loman. He's off playing some arena ball, so I'm not sure when he'll be back. Then you got the Bandits, man. Coach Mack over there and his son Leak over there getting their wheels underneath them and starting to be a well-oiled machine. He had some injuries from his, had some linebackers, leaders of the defense go down early on when they played Lima, but he has it under control over there, and they're starting to gel. And this game could have went either way, and obviously the 3 points difference showed that it was a close game. And I can't remember. Somebody said there was like a 37-yard field goal in one of the games. I don't know if it was this one. I swear at the meeting on Sunday, somebody said that in the meeting.
I'm not sure. I know for one thing I do know for sure is that Chauncey Loman was not at this game.
Chauncey was not at this game. No.
That's one thing I do know. But besides that, not taking anything away from the Bandits, you play with who you have and who shows up. And thank God that Glass City, you were able to, show up while he was not there at the game and able to pull out this win.
Honcho's funny.
So definitely glad that you were able to pull out this win and maintain first place in the 2A division with the playoffs literally around the corner. But also this was more so about the Bandits, showing that they could play with a team of your caliber. They started off a little bumpy in the beginning of the season. We all definitely expected them to have high expectations. Again, they were in their championship game last year in the league that they were in against the Surge. It came up second. So definitely knew that they had that type of caliber players and coaching staff to do great things this year. So just happy to see that they were able to be in this game and could have possibly won, but Glass City did what was needed to be done to maintain that first place in this division. So can't wait for the playoffs. This is what we were talking about at the beginning of preseason, Brian. Playoffs in the 2A division. Things are starting to gel. Arena season is over for some teams.
And if that player was on your roster, he's allowed to play. But if he wasn't on your roster,
coming back to
sorry about you.
So I'm anxious to see. How everything plays out. You know, you might have won this one, but can you win it when it counts the most, when it matters the most, when everything is on the line? So
and we'll take a look at the mid-season playoff picture here in a little bit, as if the playoffs started today, how it would look. So we'll take a look at that in a little bit. But on to the next game. Again, another shout out to the Lima Warriors for getting that win. They are starting to gel. The defense definitely starting to gel. You got Ethan Missamore, you got Dakari Adams back there. It's
well, speaking
Lima.
Dakari took a different role in this game. I.e. running back. And one of the biggest problems we've been saying so far is, what is the offense going to do? If it's not going to throw the ball, can you at least run it? And Yates was there. I seen some footage of Yates being there, but boy, did they run the ball with big old rumbling, stumbling Dakari Adams.
Yeah.
Okay, looked like the 1995
Jerome Bettis back there.
Bus going out there. So glad that they got the offense on track. Can they sustain it? And can they sustain it against, some of the top teams we will see this weekend, if it is sustainable? Nothing against the Wolfpack. The Wolfpack definitely were a great team to go up against this weekend and actually get a win. They do great things in their league as well. I know some players on the team I played with. So definitely a good caliber team, good caliber win for Lima to go in there. Defense does what they've been doing all year. It's always just been the offense. So with that being said, they found a way to get to 18 points. Can they find a way to get to 18 more coming up this week against the rival game of FCP?
And shout out to the Wolfpack for participating in the Lima Warriors Cancer Remembrance Night, man. They showed up. They wore pink. They put the names down that they lost to. They gave them to Lima. So shout out. That's the culture that we're shooting for. The brotherhood, all the bullshit that happens, outside the games. That's what it's all about. And yeah, Ethan Dakari Adams has 11.5 sacks, 14 for loss. Ethan has 5.5 sacks and 35 total tackles. So it's Lima, the top three defensive players in the 2A right now with tackles and sacks. But congratulations to them. They're on a roll. The next game we're going to talk about. Let's talk about this, Chris.
Listen. Honcho is here for a reason. He's Honcho, and I'm not going to say that Honcho's never not here, but Honcho's early for a reason, because he wants to talk about this. Now, mind you, I don't know all the ins and outs, okay? I don't know all the ins and outs. But what I do know is that everybody knows that the players of, the PFA, we have an open, I guess you can say it's an open door policy, that you can play for our league, and you also can play, an arena league and things of that nature in the same season. As long as your owners don't have a problem, if things don't conflict, this and that, in the third. Well, there was a conflict.
There was a conflict.
And the conflict was, and let's just keep it a buck, the conflict was that the Indy Bison played the Cincinnati Dukes. this past weekend. The Cincinnati Dukes, as some may know, are in the new Continental League, which is a
professional
team, a paying league. So some of the players that play for Flag City play or decided to play for the Cincinnati Dukes in this game. Therefore, what it did was it depleted the numbers of Flag City players that could travel to Detroit for said game.
Which is crazy. Fucking crazy.
Because everybody, and I'm not even going to, and this is me speaking for myself, I wanted to see this game. I wanted to see FCP against Motor City. FCP had already taken down the Bills. Here's an opportunity for you to possibly,
shock the world.
Shock the world and maybe beat Motor City Rams, or even just be close in the fight to basically show some truth about what has happened to you the last couple of weeks, and show that you still can dominate this 2A division that you so-called say you do. So,
Honcho, I'm not sure how much they got paid, if they got paid, but the Dukes got their ass kicked, so it don't matter.
I can report on the things that I know. I don't know how much they got paid, but I do know that there were players for sure. I mean, we all know which players went. We've seen the highlights of the games. They went and they played for the Dukes. They're from Cincinnati. They played, they played for them. So there lies the question where, to me.
Nah, not really, Honcho. But,
to me. Well, Honcho, I'm not going to say that they was going to beat y'all, but I'm saying whenever you lace them up, there's always opportunity. It's always opportunity for you to show greatness or for you to not. And if they would at least made it a close game with y'all, that could have said volumes, even if they would have lost. And I thought, I would have picked them to lose.
Just hanging in there. Yeah, hanging in there.
Would have showed volumes. Let's put it at that. But I wanted to see it personally, and I say this when it comes to certain. I don't mind the if you want to play for arena ball, get paid. Make your money. Everybody do what you need to do. I'm never going to count a man's pockets,
right?
But and because I don't want this to be a thing too, I'm not going to say that this game was more important than the Indy Bison Cincinnati Dukes game. I'm not going to say that either, because that was a big game as well. You know what I'm saying? It was a couple big games last week. The Racing played the Illinois Cowboys in this game last week, and then this game was supposed to be huge. Me personally, I'm very firm on loyalty. I just am. I'm very firm on loyalty. So whether I'm trying to make my coin, or whether if I know that this game is going to do something for us, that this game can say something not only about me as a player playing up against this type of talent, but also us as a team, as a franchise moving forward during the season, I would have played in this game. I would have played this. I wouldn't have played in the Indy Bison Cincinnati Duke game. That's just me personally. I would have played in this game.
Well, just like because you said,
it would have meant more if for shits and giggles, hear me out. Say they win. Now FCP could have said we beat 2 out of the 3A teams in the PFA this year. Mm-hmm. That hasn't been done yet by any 2A team in our league, and since it's been established.
Or any other 2A team in a different league.
You can hang your hat on that. Secondly, now it catapults you into the playoffs with a big win up against, a juggernaut of a franchise. You know what I'm saying?
Momentum, just the momentum alone that it could have gave them.
So to me, it's like I would have wanted that accolade rather than me going to play in a game against a Bison that didn't have. It was really just about bragging rights.
Yeah,
that game. This would have been more for my league and for my team. And if I'm playing for Aaron Sanders, and as much as Aaron has done for his team and his franchise and for the players and everything, again, I'm loyal. I'm loyal. I'm loyal. I'm loyal. I'm loyal. So I definitely would have played in this game.
I
That's my
tell
take
you,
on it. I know everybody's going to have an opinion. Hey, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. So
yeah,
some
exactly.
people are going to want to play for the money, and you know what I'm saying, play, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's whatever you want to. But just me personally, as a football player, who I take loyalty is everything to me when it comes to football. I would have played in this game rather than saying, well, hey, I'm gonna go play in this game, because again, I don't know how much they got paid. I don't know
Yeah,
what it
we
was.
don't know that. We don't know the financials. But
Yeah, I'm not counting nobody's pocket.
if I was Aaron Sanders and the owner of a team, all those guys that left to go play that game, they probably had to stay over there because I probably wouldn't welcome them back. I mean,
it does make you feel a certain way because you do so much for these guys, and you want them to be loyal back. But again, we do have an open policy for this. You know what I'm saying? We got an open policy for players being able to do this, because we want players to get opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like Chauncey Loman, he played for the Louisiana team in arena ball just last week. He had to miss a game. There are other players that are playing in arena ball, but I guarantee you that if it came down, if this was a championship game versus arena ball, I guarantee you Chauncey would have been here for the championship game. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just, and to each his own, you know what I'm saying? But the choices that you make, again, this made FCP look like they was ducking smoke. It did.
And it gave them I mean, they didn't get no points. They could have scored possibly points against the Rams. We don't know.
You didn't need another loss.
And you didn't need another loss because now you're in the bottom tier of the 6 teams, and now you're going to probably have to play one of the top seeded teams when you go to the playoffs. So again, it comes down to loyalty, and we see this a lot, Chris, at this level. No matter if you call it pro advancement, semi-pro, minor league, people aren't loyal to. There's not a lot of loyalty left in the world, anyways. So, and this showed that there wasn't a lot of loyalty to the Phantoms, and the Phantoms are like you said, Aaron does a lot out of his own money to run this franchise and to make it what it's been over the last 3-4 years, and then for him to have to deal with that sucks for him, and the players that wanted to travel, and especially the Rams too, because they had to have a game to play. So it's unfortunate, but let's move on. Let's play week 6 and have good games. We're gonna go on to the next game. How about them Michigan Bills, Chris? How about them Michigan Bills? The Bills Mafia goes in and beats the Metro Detroit Raiders 30-12. And from looking at the stats that Mikey sent me, they ran the ball pretty much the whole game.
Now this is the thing that I guess I'm learning from this game. Now, over the offseason, we heard so many different things about the Metro Raiders. They're gonna be this, they're gonna be that. The Metro Raiders then won championships, blase, boo hoo, skip a few. But the Bills winning this game the way they did and in the style and fashion they did, I don't know, man. I think it was all smoke and mirrors, man. I think it was. I was expecting a more competitive game. I really was. For as much trash that they talk, and Mikey got pulled into it this week. I had to reel him back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He got pulled into it. But I'll still give a shout out to the Button Boys, as he calls them now.
Button Boys.
But I expected.
That's just a weird name.
Yeah, I expected the Bills to win, but I didn't expect them to win in the fashion they did, especially with running the ball. I mean, they ran up and down and up and down and up and down the field, on this Raiders defense that was supposed to be so potent. But again, shout out to them. Hopefully they do well in the PFL this season. Shout out to the PFL for helping us have a crossover game like this. We love the matchup, but just happy for the Michigan Bills getting a good solid win, getting that offense going, because that's what's going to be needed coming up into this next matchup they got coming up this week. Definitely going to have to put points on the board for sure. So shout out to Mikey and the Button Boys.
Yeah, I probably. Are you saying I don't understand because I'm white, Mike? I feel singled out. I feel like that's a shot at because I'm white. Feel attacked, yeah. On to the last game. Not much you can say about this, man. The Ravens do what they do. Shout out to the Force for showing up and playing. I know they're getting tired of losing, but you got to take your bumps when you're a first-year team. You got to get that experience. You got to get dedication to those players that even if you lose every game, they're still going to come back and they're going to play hard each game. And I think the Force have done that all season, even though they haven't won an actual game. They got one win for them forfeit. But they showed up.
Playing good football. Let me say
played hard. Yeah.
I don't want them to be too down on themselves. I know the record says a lot, but you play good football. You know what I'm saying? Against the Ravens, understand that the Ravens have put up 43 points in a quarter against teams. You made it 4 quarters and they only scored 43. So that says something about you as a team. I watched some of the game. You had your moments. You were in there. You got 3 and outs. You know what I'm saying? You held it down. Take those wins and take those moments and build on that going into the next game. I mean, this is the number 1 team in the nation, in any league. So don't have your heads down about this loss. This was a learning game. This is what you needed to see what it looks like, what a good team looks like, what a well-organized franchise looks like, how they communicate, how they play, how they operate. That's what this game was for you being a first-year team. But by no means, don't be mad at the score. Like I said, they put up 43 and a quarter on teams. Okay, so
they've broken the scoreboard a couple times on teams that were experienced and not a first-year team. But the point of this is they showed up. They took the beating. 43-0, but they, like I said, all season the Michigan Force have been playing hard football, win, lose, draw. They've been showing up and playing. So they've traveled, they've hosted. So I think they're on a good path to success. They just got to keep it up.
You still got a chance. Like me and Brian will go over here in the end. Here
still
later.
Holding on to that 6th spot.
Holding on to that 6th spot. For the playoffs. So again, you're not out of the fight, you know what I'm saying, just yet. So just continue to keep growing and keep pressing on and keep showing up. That's the most important thing. Just keep showing up. Keep showing up.
Well, I appreciate it, Mikey. I appreciate it. That's going to do it for our Week 5 recap. Lots of great games, but we're going to take a short break. So more of the rundown, episode 62, right after this.
Soprano. Oh, you hate me? Hate you too, little boy. Better not tell Bono. I'm him. I know. HBO Soprano. Oh, you hate me? Hate you too, little boy. Better not tell Bono. You need a band. I need respect. Hate when I see what they do for a check. Lately, I know when they fumble and crumble. Admit that it's hard and I look at a wreck. I just neglect people that saying they be on my radar that really expect. Put down my
Welcome back to episode 62 of The Rundown. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. Please make sure you go like and subscribe. We are already into week 6, Brian. We are past the halfway point of the season. Let's take a look at these matchups that we have coming up this weekend. First and foremost, the number 1 Detroit Ravens, 5-0, are going to be taking on the up-and-coming Button Boys. The new nickname, we're going to put that, Button Boys. The Michigan Bills, 3-2. I'm liking this matchup. What do you see in this matchup, Brian? And who do you got winning?
I think the Bills are on a roll, but I think the Ravens are just on a roll too. So it's going to be a toss up on who shows up. The Bills can play that run game and break through their defense, then they may have a chance. But I can't bet against the Ravens, man. I'm sorry, Mikey. You're still my boy, even though I'm not. I don't know what Button Boy is, so I feel left out. So I'm going with the Ravens this week, man. Sorry, I can't bet against the Ravens. I'm in a close tie with Chris for the Pick'em championship, so I can't afford to risk a loss. But no, I love the Bills. I love what they're doing. They're on a roll. They got a couple wins in a row. They're beating outside teams in different leagues, saving us from losing to the crossover games. So I appreciate that. But again, I'm sticking with the Ravens this week.
Well, in this one, I will say one of the things I do want to give Mikey credit for. He's not afraid to ask for help when he needs it, even when it's in the middle of the season. And a couple weeks ago, Mikey said, "Hey, man, I need some coaches. I need some offensive coaches. I need some defensive coaches. Hell, if you can coach anything, I need some coaches." And he was able to pick up two good coaches from the area that also coach high school football in that area. And I have to say, since then, I've definitely noticed a change in the defense. I've definitely noticed a change, especially in the offense. With them putting up points on the board. So they definitely are heading in the right track. And I think it all has to do with, the new coaching that Mikey was able to bring in for the Bills. Detroit Ravens, the Ravens are going to be the Ravens. Right now, it's almost like they're on cruise control. I do have the Ravens winning this, but I think this game, if they are not focused, if they are not, locked in, I think the Bills might be able to clip their wings. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Because, like I said, I do think the coaching that they brought in is helping use the talent that they have.
Sure.
Coach Chavis, even Mike Anderson out there playing defense. A couple of other guys, newer guys.
Give me a hell yeah! What?
Able to use them and use their strengths to their advantage against the opposing teams. So I think that it's going to be a close game, honestly. But again, I do have the Ravens winning. I think the Ravens do roll on and still stay undefeated. But if they're not locked in, if they're not focused, especially coming out the gate, if the Bills are able to, hit them with a few good punches and stay close in the fourth quarter, anything can happen. And it's anybody's game. So shout out to both teams. This is definitely going to be a good preview for what is to come for the playoffs. But I definitely can't wait to see the outcome of this one.
A shout out to the both games, like you said, and then I got this. Oh wait, nope, that's not it. Damn it! See,
you gotta label those.
So, shout out. Chewbacca says he has the Ravens too. So, on to the next game, Chris. And everybody's been talking about this game. It's a rivalry game, and I didn't mean to make that pink. It's almost pink. I'm sorry, Aaron. Lima 2-3. They're on a roll. They beat the Wolfpack this last week. Flag City coming off a bye week with no game. Who knows if they're going to be rusty? Who knows how many people will show up? But my bet is it's basically a home game for them, and they're playing Lima, so I bet they get 70 people. 70 players on the sideline. But
Well,
we'll see. I hear there could be a Brian sighting at this game. I'm not confirming it, but there could be a Brian sighting. So, but I have to go with Lima this week, man, because I just can't trust Flag City again because they break my heart every time. So I'd rather my heart be broken by Lima than Flag City because Lima hasn't really done it much because,
this definitely wasn't a bye week for FCP. They definitely took a loss.
Well,
but
a playing week.
But I will say this. I did my due diligence. As a journalist, and I definitely went and made sure that some things were in order before I made my pick. And one of the things I needed to make sure it was in order was that a quarterback was going to be there for Flag City Phantoms. So I reached out to Black Brady, Mr. Maurice, just to check on him and check on his
That's
injury.
Right, Fred. They can't.
To check on his injury, and he suffered what I did not know. He suffered a broken knuckle in the game against the Cobras. That's what took him out in his left hand. Good news is it's his non-throwing hand. He's a righty. So he's definitely said he will be playing in this game. They need him to play in this game because they do need this game for seeding when it comes up to the playoffs. Now, on the flip side of that, Lima, you just found something that worked. You got Yates back. You got Dakari in the backfield playing bulldozer and running back. Can you now do that against an FCP team? This is a rival game. I'm not taking anything away from the from the Wolfpack, but they're not Flag City. Okay, let's just keep it a buck. So, can you still do the same thing you did last week against Flag City in the run game? And are you able to finally get what we would call a decisive win? You've beaten teams this season, you beat teams last season, but you haven't had that moment where you beat one of the teams and it be like, oh man, Lima really beat them. This is that moment for you. Right here, right now. And it'll put you ahead of them when it comes to seeding in the 2A. So with that being said, I'm not taking Lima. I'm taking FCP. As long as Black Brady is going to be there, I'm going to roll with him. I'm not going to roll with any other quarterback that Flag City puts behind them. And usually when Flag City is backed into a corner, it's when they play their best football. So I'm going to go with them. Going to be close. I expect it to be a defensive battle on both sides. But I'm definitely taking FCP to win this game. And Fred, I definitely see your comments. He's got Lima by 12, and he said the Ravens were going to win by 25. 25 is a little too much. Having Lima by 12, not so much. I would have told you it was crazy if you would have told me that in the beginning of the year, Fred. But after everything that's been happening with FCP this season,
could be by 20. Chris, can I have a pour of whatever you're sipping on? Are you drinking your White Lightning, Chris?
No, I'm not drinking anything. I'm as sober as the day is young.
This next game, Ohio Bears versus the Motor City Rams. I think the Rams are traveling for this game, right?
Yeah, the Rams are traveling. They'll be traveling down here to Columbus, Ohio this weekend, and they are going to put BTA to the Bears. We appreciate you guys taking the game. We appreciate you for showing up to the game. We do apologize for what is going to happen.
Right.
So yeah, that's that on there. Now Fred wanted to say Rams by 25 in this one. I would say Rams by 35. But yeah, I definitely see a blowout game. Or he said Rams by 45. So we're close. We're in the same ballpark. We got to
appreciate you, sir. Well, this is for the MCR guys, the BTA boys. I found this just for you. It's not a belt, but it's same sound. So
It sounds like it.
it's a whip. It's one of those bull whips. Which
It sounds like it
it's
sounds
still a
like
form
a
of a
belt.
belt.
If you wouldn't have
Still a
told me, I
form
would have thought it was a belt.
Next up, we have. We already talked about that. I had two of these in there. Sorry. Cap City Bandits at 3-2 versus the Flint Fury. This is a game that the Bandits can't afford to take for granted, and I don't think they will. So don't take that wrong. But they got to come out firing on all cylinders because you don't want to mess around and let Flint stay with you, because you might end up with a loss, and you don't want to lose because you're 1-2 with GCT right now, and it's second half of the season, so every win is important. Every win counts. But I got Cap City on this one, Chris. I don't know if it's going to be close, but I think Cap City breaks out this week and just scores quite a bit of points. And unfortunate Flint will go home with another loss, I feel. Oh, Fred's got Fury by 6.
Fred, what you drinking? Anyway,
yeah, can we have a sip or a puff of what that is?
You better put some respect on Cap City, Fred.
Hey, Coach Mack has that team like a well-oiled machine.
Cap City definitely needs to win this game. Definitely needs to keep their status where they're at. You definitely don't want to let anybody back into this race. You got to lead. So I expect you guys to come out and smack them in the mouth. But like Brian said, if you do let Flint Fury hang around, what Fred is saying could possibly happen. They are a good football team. They're hungry. They're looking to try to get some more notches on their belt and some more wins on that board. So don't play around with them. Lock in. Do what needs to be done. Take them out early. Rest late. And get yourself a win this weekend, Capital City Bandits, and stay in that second place.
Next game, man. This is another game that Surge needs to come in.
I feel like we got a lot of trap games.
Yeah,
this weekend. A lot of trap games. You know what I'm saying? That if you're not locked in
by 59.
If you're not locked in, if you're not paying attention to what's going on, or if you're overlooking them, the opponent looking into next week, you can mess around and lose. You can mess around and lose. Again, Force are thirsty, hungry, starving for their I won't call it a legitimate win because it was a forfeit win, but
a real win.
Win. Pinocchio. You want a real boy. You know what I mean?
Well, a real win would give them momentum, confidence. They probably get a little air in their balloon to keep going through the season because, like I said, they're holding on to that. They're holding on to that 6th spot, and it's a 19 point differential between them and the Fury to make the playoffs, and they're holding on by a thread, a real small thread. So whether they win or lose this weekend, like Chris said, they got to score some points to get. They need Fury to lose and not score many points, but they need to score more points than the Fury. So
now on the flip side of that, I know the Surge and Rondo, they're anxious to play. They didn't get to play last weekend due to circumstances. They're going to be ready to play this game. They're going to be ready to get out there on the field and do what needs to be done so they can get back into the hunt. Because right now, we had you in the beginning of the season, you were right there, 1-2. Then you went down to 2-3. Now you're down to 4-5. You're losing traction. You're starting to lose. You're starting to walk out of the conversation. This game is to try to put you guys back into the conversation. All right. You got to stay focused. No turnovers in the red zone, Serge. Do you hear me when I say this? No turnovers in the red zone. That is like your Achilles heel, all right? Do what needs to be done. Again, like I said this for the last couple games here, lock in. This is a trap game for you. You know, you guys should definitely beat the Surge. Fred got you by 20. I got you by 20. You feel me? But you got to lock in. Do not take the Michigan Force lightly. They are a good team. They are a good team, okay? The record does not show you the potential that they have. They're a first-year team. These are growing pains. It's going to happen. But if you get out there and you play them like they ain't worth nothing, you're gonna fuck around and find out.
FAFO.
You're gonna fuck around
Last
and find
game
out.
is not really a game because we know the Apes have folded, so the Glass City Tigers will get a 21-0 forfeit win, and they will go to 5-1.
Last thing you needed was them to get a break. That's the last thing anybody in the 2A division needed was them to get a bye week, and now they have one to recuperate, to strategize, to think about, to practice 2 weeks for the next component. It's the last thing y'all wanted to happen, but hey, so be it.
So there's the standings as we look. As you see at the bottom two, there's a 19-point difference. It doesn't show that, but that's what it is. Then you got Lima holding on to that 5th spot, FCP down that 4th spot, and they're not. Surge is they're right behind the Surge. They're not too far back, but 1 and 2 Glass City Bandits. So looking at the 3A, no one's gonna. I don't think MCR is even gonna catch the Ravens to move up. So sorry, MCR. I just don't see it happening until next week when they play each other.
I mean, honestly, that would be the only way they could possibly catch them is to beat them in the regular season.
Catch you later, Fred. Have a good night, sir. Thanks for jumping on. And put a profile picture on, man. It's creeping me out that you have no profile picture. Is it really Is it really Fred? That's what I'm wondering, because no profile picture. How do we know? Anyways, this is the standings for week 6 of the rundown pick'ems. We're all tied. Chris Dotson, he's been busy, so he hasn't been able to get his picks in. But this week is going to separate us, so that's why I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Lima, don't let me down. Don't let me down. And here's the shot of the picks for this week. Dave and Chris are the only ones that picked FCP. I'm sticking with Lima, like I said.
You see how Brian's over there by himself?
Anyways, and we all went undefeated last week. So that's that. But yeah, man. So we're talking about the playoff picture. Here's a mid-season playoff picture right now. This is what it looks like. You got Glass City and the Bandits getting a bye, 1 and 2. And then you would have the Surge at number 3 playing the Force, which could happen, a rematch of this week's game. And then you got 4 and 5, Lima and Flag City. So it's rematches of this weekend, possibly could happen. Or out here on the outside looking in is the Flint Fury. Will they make a push and push the Force out? If they do that, will the Force be able to maintain and come back and take that 6th spot back? I don't know.
Will they make a push? Can we see the Surge possibly make a surge and go up to, say, 3 or 2? We still got more football to be played. Still more football to be played. But that is a nice bracket right there. A very nice bracket. All right. But everybody needs to lock in this weekend. Lock into these are, like I said before, I feel like these are a lot of trap games this weekend, and a lot of upsets can happen if those teams who are supposed to win are not focused and are not doing what needs to be done, like holding on to the ball, scoring when opportunities present themselves, and not being locked in on offense, defense, and special teams. Okay, and I say special teams because shout out to Meach Gesture of the Detroit Ravens, who had 3 punt returns back for touchdowns last week, and he had an interception return for a touchdown as well. 4 touchdowns accoladed by one person. Listen, lock in on all 3 phases of the game.
That's 28 of the 43 points that the Ravens scored just by one person. Well, 24. And I wouldn't know that, Chris, because I haven't got stats from Mr. Smith yet. That's Dave Smith, not Fred Smith. But yeah, that's going to do it for a week 6 preview, and that's going to do it for the rundown. As always, I'm Brian Mitchum, Director of Media Development. And on the other side is Chris Cousins, Director of Podcasting. Catch us next week for week 7 of the season as we go into episode 63 of the Rundown. But again, we appreciate everybody joining in the stream and the chat. But don't forget to like and subscribe for us, guys. Help us out. It helps us help you. So, but as always, we'll see you next week. Catch us if you can.